this is the life I live, unfortunately, okay? And this is the only way that we can live, given the fact that I refuse to shut the fuck up. I see horrors happening in our government, in our institutions, in our corporations, in the Fed, in every aspect of our system of government. We have corruption. You are deluded people into thinking it matters who sits in the president's office. Please God, do you realize that if the president wanted to know whether or not there were flying saucers, they are not going to fucking tell him.
He's a puppet.
He is a puppet. So we need to peel this curtain back and look at the wizard behind the curtain, people, and deal with that. Fuck the president. It doesn't fucking matter.
Yalla, reunited. John McAfee, the world excited, struck a match to the underground. The industry ignited, and we're back, infidels, as the bat signal goes up to represent for one of the best bad guy heels of all time. And is he alive? Is he gone? Was he Epstein? We're going to find out. Back ready to shine. It's the Conspiracy Horsemen. Yalla. Yes, we are here, infidels. And man, as soon as we got the news and the signal flare went up, we knew we had to come out of the woodwork, come off the range, and reunite like Voltron, because we had to represent for one of what I believe, and maybe I'm completely biased in this, but I've seen extended John McAfee interviews before, and I think our time with him was something special that I haven't seen anywhere else. And I think we're cut from the same cloth, eccentric performers. And when we have the spotlight, we do the most with it. And I'm glad to be back with my Conspiracy Horseman brothers, even if we're on just twitch.tv/Hameen Media or Hameen Media Group YouTube right now, because DVOC 91 bans. But welcome back to the Conspiracy Horseman. Big Stevie Cool, how you doing, man?
Well, it's kind of mixed emotions, because to have somebody like John McAfee in the news and a negative thing, and we also have some wrestling stuff that's going on. We had two people pass, including John McAfee and Melissa Coates, the Super Genie. Mm-hmm. Kind of mixed emotions. It's glad to be here, or I'm glad to be here with my Horseman brothers and have an episode, but under these circumstances isn't exactly. I'd love to have McAfee on, to be the first episode back. And we're still kind of treading these waters in this minefield to try to figure out how we can continue to do these shows. So a bunch of different stuff going on, but short answer is I'm doing good.
Well, you look great, man. And on the new setup over there, we'll see if this mic holds up tonight. I know you're looking to switch it out. You got big plans for the future studio, but you're talking about the future right here. It's the cardio machine himself, Big Sal Allah, Breaking Sal, the devil's advocate. Good to see you, brother.
Oh man. And he's one of the guys who John McAfee, when we heard he went, we all knew, we all said, we're like, that doesn't seem right. Especially by suicide. But now also he's one of the guys you never expect to go. He's one of those guys that pretty much goes on forever. But that sucks. I'm glad to be here. Despite there not being Return of the Mac. I still feel we're gonna. I'm glad to be back with you guys, but now I just again do wish it was something better. I wish we had something way cooler to come back to.
Well, who would have thought it was John McAfee who'd send up the bat signal?
Yeah.
I think the one of us that he related to best, because it's all about the money and our money guy alone. GGP, man, triple mic slap. I like it. Give me one, because we've missed a couple. Drum roll. Good to see you, man.
What's up? We're back for now. How's everybody doing? I'm doing well. Like Sal says, is that we wish the circumstances were better. If the news were that he died of a cocaine overdose and his face in a stripper's ass, then we can say, all right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shooting up the place, with an Uzi or some kind of assault weapon. Okay. But for him to be Suicided? Yeah. Nah. Don't sit well with us. We could smell the work a mile away.
Yeah, man. And I mean, it's tough for all of us because those were special shows. I think for us and he and Mrs. McAfee, I think he really enjoyed it. Especially the second time around when he knew what he was getting into. So yeah, go ahead.
No, absolutely. I was going to agree with you. My condolences to Mrs. McAfee and everyone else in his family.
Yeah, it was too early to reach out to be like, hey, we're doing a show tonight. You know what I mean? So
no, of course.
Maybe in a year we'll revisit it. And I'd love to have her on and, say our memory of our time that we'll cover some of that tonight. But out of the gate, is this what he would want more than anything to be? He is a, world-renowned bad guy that he loved to live that hacker lifestyle on the run. Kim.com, another guy who lives outside of the parameters that they just don't want his knowledge to be out there. And really, after he got arrested, everything that he said or did beforehand that they had them scared has been monetized on Twitter with Doggy Coin, with AMP, with fucking Bitcoin. I mean, look at in just the last 5-6 months how that conversation is just so mainstream. But what they locked him up for in an evasion, supposedly, of taxes, that they can't prove anything, and that there's been threats against his life before, documented on that he's put out there. And now they got him, man. And I had just reached out to Janice McAfee 15 days ago in email for a second time, and I hadn't heard back from her. And it makes me wonder if she's under pressure too, because without him, what leverage is there for her, And I just was thinking, I read Ghislaine Maxwell gets 4 to 5 hours of teleconference a day with her lawyers and this type of stuff. I was going to see if we can go through the lawyer to get a teleconference from the Spanish prison. No respondo. So he's been on our mind, as far as that goes, but he's put out the tweet, Sal. If you see, if I die in prison, it's because I was killed Epstein style.
Right.
Go ahead.
He said that we've discussed that. Like, that's been one of the topics we covered, and we talked about it on and off the air. He said, if that ever happens, he goes, that's not my style. The guy was first of all, insane narcissist.
Yeah.
And, again, to say, he's going to kill himself. He thought way too highly of himself to kill himself. He always had one last stunt. He had one last encore. Always had one last act. Somebody, I don't know. Again, we're going to see tons, and we already have seen tons and tons of people who just do not believe it. Yeah. And not just conspiracy people, but like people just following McAfee financially. They don't understand. They're like, this doesn't make any sense. And he's made it public before that he's gotten the Iggy that, hey, keep it up and we're going to kill yourself. So, you know what I mean? Like, that's been put out there, and he's publicly stated that over and over and over. This is nothing new. He got the gimmick tattoo, right? And,
money sign, it says whacked on it.
Money whacked. Like, he got the special tattoo that, if something ever happens, look for the tattoo. So, and again, if you're like, if you really wanted to keep that a thing, you would have kept it quiet, but that's not him. You know what I mean? Like, it was all
right there. Like, because I'd like to go around the horn and sing, because a lot of things we have pretty much 3 or 4, and maybe you guys can even dream up a couple avenues to go down based off of the Epstein thing. Why would he want to show the tattoo? In case I think there's probably a fair amount of John McAfee body doubles in that age range, 60s, that could pass off for him, right? So is he alive and gone because he's got the crypto thing and they want to use him, and they're going to take him to some underground base and make him fucking come up with all this new blockchain shit? Did they have him suicided and killed because of it, because they want him out of the picture completely when they said they were going to extradite him? And that's just easy, put the story out, he's already dead, and that's why he did it. You know what I mean? That seems right out of Clinton playbook. And the other one is that he was never in jail in my opinion, to some degree. How is he tweeting all the time, every day from jail? Are they sneaking cell phones in that easily?
I don't think it was him.
You don't think it was him from jail?
No, man. He's got an organization. He's got people who can do this. Just, honestly, just the same way, we had a monkey tweeting for us. It doesn't mean anything, like he can give him the word and say, hey, Janice, do me a favor, make sure he gets this and quote, say this, go do this, go do that. I don't think, I don't necessarily think it had to be him. I don't think he had a flip phone up his ass, pulling it out at lunchtime going through.
I don't know. He's into some pretty heavy kinky shit.
Yeah. He might have had one. The flip phone might not have worked or done anything, but still he had one up his ass. Who knows? But but again, like I feel like there's so many ways he could go around this. And again, this all has to do with spotlight on him. He's one of those moth flame guys. If there's a camera, he'll be in front of it and he'll be working.
Yeah. Well, it's working in the chat room right now because the talk of the night is Sexy Sal over here. Little Sally Graziano. Everybody's really putting over how hard you've been working, and they can see it. GGP, greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world that he didn't exist. And like that, he's gone.
Absolutely. I don't know, man. To me, I don't think it's the crypto thing at all. I think he had a lot of information on the government. I think they were trying to press him. He wasn't budging. Spain said they were expediting him to the U.S. They figured if they bring him to the U.S., he gets trialed. Loose lips sink ship. Let's take him out this way. Nothing gets, the kayfabe doesn't get broken. But here's the deal. You think someone of his stature, the guy's batshit crazy. Let's call it as it is. We're not going to make him a saint by any means of the imagination. He allegedly killed somebody. We don't know if it's fact or fiction, right? So,
Well, he on our shows alone, and sorry to cut you off. People were asking, where's the second show? The second show got pulled from YouTube. I have the hard copy on my hard drive, but that show got a strike and pulled after it was on there. So they went after him with that. But he's talking about how to buy off cops in Mexico while you're smuggling keys of cocaine, and how he got that shit done. If you watch the Netflix Slam piece, he's a fecal-philiac who likes fucking sex workers, and he had wild dogs and fucking Sicario hitmen who were ready to kill, wanting to kill around him, looking for an excuse. So, like I said, people were hitting me up and saying how much they enjoyed it, and we enjoy our time with the bad guy. But, let's not put him in a character of being a saint, a genius. With all genius, there's madness. Absolutely. Fuel that with some fucking powder. Where we can go from there is unlimited,
No, absolutely. And I was about to get to that point where
to make your own wrestling federation.
As long as they book the bookie monster, that's all that matters.
And you're welcome, by the way. Hey, Hacker getting you 2 bookings out of the fucking gate this year.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. So like I was saying, okay, we'll talk later about that. About him being batshit crazy, most geniuses who are right about a certain scenario or topic or field that they're in, usually are batshit crazy. So It goes hand in hand. Was he a little? I think his issue, and like Stevie said, on the chat, the fact that he played into everything to feed his ego, his narcissism. No one took him serious. You know what I'm saying? And just like every other guy who's on mainstream media, whether it's Alex Jones, whether it's fucking some other conspiracy nut, they'll come out and present something and raise an eyebrow or two or make someone go, could be. And then you see them act all fringe and crazy and ridiculous when the red light's on, like a caricature or your stereotypical tinfoil hat wearing nut job. And then they lose all credibility. So him coming to tell us that, hey, I have so much evidence about the government being corrupt. I have so much evidence of wrongdoing. I have so much evidence of the USA, and I'm going to burn it to the ground if they ever come after me. This, that, and the other. Okay, that's easy to say. Mm-hmm. Whether or not he has it, who knows? But then he come over here and talk about smuggling cocaine and doing this, that, and the other, and partying with the ladies of the night every night and twice on Sunday. you're like, wait a minute, this guy's a nut job. I'm gonna believe anything he says. So he kind of loses he loses himself, So I don't know where this, but the funny thing, like we said, there's so much stuff now that's coming into play. Like it's like they're checking off boxes with your typical conspiracy stuff, like a tweet after he dies. Check that box.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
How about the tweet after he dies was what?
The letter Q, whatever that means.
Q, right? So here we are right into the fucking deep Reddit space and what's what with him knowing something or just to play the Batman card. Stevie, you had well, go ahead, Sal. But Stevie,
no, I was just gonna say he knows how to play the troll card, man. That's his perfect.
Even in death, though, right? And that in the timeline of when his death was announced versus that tweet, we'll get back to because I want to kind of liken it to the Mr. X, Richard Prouty, JFK thing. But Steve, you had great points this morning on Elon Musk was doing the same thing with Doggy Coin that they are hot at him with, but because he said, if you can't beat them, join them. So be it, man.
Well, there's a big difference between Elon Musk and John McAfee, and people might think, well, of course there is. Look at one, look at the other. Really not much of a difference from a personality level or even a personal life. Elon Musk is pretty controversial. It just hasn't been exposed. Amber Heard, I believe he was with her while he was married. I'm not sure if I got that. His girlfriend now is trying to make herself look like an alien. They named the kid like XYZ52 or some shit like that. Like he's an eccentric guy. So we don't know if the habits of John McAfee are mirrored by Elon Musk. But the big difference between Musk and McAfee is the fact that Musk was going under. Tesla, his company, was going under until he got federal funding, until he started playing nice with the government, which McAfee has never done.
Right, anti-AI, like big in that statement, and then
he flipped on it. Yeah,
on it quick.
Well, here's the. I guess let's go down the list, sort of like you said, of what could have happened or the theories. The Epstein one, reminding everybody that there's pictures of Epstein where the ear looks completely different, the nose looks, the facial structure looks completely different on this corpse that's lying on the table. And then we have the guy's name was Opperman, right? Opperman comes on and tells us they completely walked Epstein out. They just walked him out.
And then we had this last month, the fucking security guards that one day in the news cycle, oh, we were bullshitting and we lied and da-da-da-da, but there's no follow-up on that.
You don't even know their names. You don't know their faces. You don't see them getting tried for anything. Nope. So, and there was a blackout. There was a blackout that right at the exact time, the cameras went out, the power went out, all this stuff. And I'm interested to see if, excuse me, if these variables because there's footage, there should be some kind of surveillance. I'm wondering if there was some kind of blackout in the Spanish prison where he was at, if he was even there, like Sal said, if he was even there, if this timeline and this supposed psyop one way or the other, we don't know. There was a saying that I saw, that it was Denzel Washington actually said it. You're either uninformed or you're misinformed. In other words, we're starting to even get like way too much information already about the McAfee stuff. And that's just going to confuse, I mean, maybe purposely confuse everybody to where they're like, fuck it, it's crazy. I don't have time for this shit.
Looking at this, like what GGP was saying, he came out and he's like, oh, I'm running coke here, I'm doing this.
Sorry. I was just trying to download this. So,
but that like you said, GGP is saying.
In any case,
sorry, it's McAfee. Shut the fuck up, John.
But that's the thing. Somebody who comes out and tells you the flat out truth, even their not pretty side, man. So if he were to come out and tell us only his good shit, if he were to come out and say, well, I did this and I did this, and oh, I saved a puppy one time, I'd be like, okay, you are so full of shit, my friend. But he came out and told us, he showed us the shit on his shoes, man. That's what I mean. He told everybody. He came out and said, well, I was running coke up this way and I was doing this and I was banging 12 hookers sideways. And he told us his unvarnished, unpretty side. So,
and how they ran him out. They ran him out of his own company.
So here's the thing. We all, Stevie, Ben, Pop, we all know people who act like that. We all know people in the business who just tell you way too fucking much and are just, honestly, I'm not going to say they don't lie. Let's not go that way.
What's happening in?
Sorry, go ahead.
But like they are less inclined to lie because they're telling you everything anyway. They have no reason to make this shit up. So for us to, to say, well, do we believe him? Do we not believe him? It doesn't matter. The fact is the guy has put so much information out there. Even if we do Cosby math and half it's true, you still got something to look into. You still got something to say, what the fuck?
Everybody wants to know is how many subscribers have you got now to some fucking bullshit.com? Is that what it was? Some dumb bullshit?
Yeah, no, it was whatever bullshit.
Whatever bullshit.com. One of the guys in the room bought the name.
Yeah. Tuttles bought it.
Tuttles, that's it. Yeah, Tuttles bought the name. So yeah.
Let me say this real quick though. What do you guys think about McAfee and his worth? Is he that much of a liability that they had to do this to get rid of him? Or do you think he's worth that much more to be walked out? And they gave him the option. They gave him the ultimatum. It's either do or literally die right now.
I see Citibank and the string pullers going, we want to combat crypto because we can't get a hold on it. You're going to make our thing unfuckwithable. And he's locked away.
Ransomware and all the other stuff and everything.
Yes. Dude, what did we just do? Paid off hackers supposedly, right? I got 90 million in Bitcoin. You think they don't want that shit? You want that happening every other week? It's either that or putting a new $300 trillion fucking security grid into everything, which is also what they want.
Well, considering crypto has just took a nosedive and shit the bed on every level and gotten down to its lowest in I don't know how long. I definitely think, like, to me, that just makes the bell ring a little louder when something like this happens. You're like, what the fuck?
And buy at the dip sale. Here
See
we go.
the truth, not of what's happening in the goddamn street, but what's happening in here. And what's happening in here is influenced by what? The mainstream fucking media people. They tell you what to fear. We obey, because what happens when fear takes hold? You look for a savior. You look for a savior. Oh, the government's a savior now. They know what to do. So we acted like sheep, went and closed our goddamn doors. What happens when fear strikes not the sheep, but the shepherd? The shepherd might do anything. Surrounded by a pack of wolves. The wolf is either going to eat the sheep or eat him. Which one do you think the shepherd chooses? Wake up, people. It's in here that the problem lies, and in here that we have to understand the potential solutions. See the truth.
Yeah, go ahead.
And let just to go off further on his analogy, every shepherd has the thing called the scapegoat for a reason, man. The fainting goat that they sacrifice to get everybody else the fuck out. So, you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, he nails it.
Is that part of the CERN ceremony you do? That you bring?
Absolutely not. Listen, let's stick to John McAfee. He's passed. Let's show some respect.
No, CERN might have killed him. We might be on the right path.
Stop your nonsense.
And you have to ride a goat at your Freemason meetings as well. I heard about that too. So I did want to take a second
on the phone.
I did want to take a second though. It came through our producer's chat earlier to acknowledge a great subscriber, Russo Brandon HMG as well, that was lost this week. Jared Cantator, I had seen that name in the chat in a lot of our shows, a lot of live streams. Would also send producers like the Fuse guys, like the AEW botches and stuff, a real great community member. And I heard, unfortunately, today he passed as well. So we're remembering Melissa Coates and obviously McAfee here too. So raise one up if you got one, guys, for him. But yeah, that was, I forgot to tell you guys about that earlier. Sorry.
It's a weird time. I feel like we're hitting that weird time where people, it happens in threes where it just feels like there's a string of where things are happening, you know, even infrastructure is falling, things that we haven't seen are things, certain things are feel like they're coming home to roost. There's some kind of shift, literally or figuratively, that's going on in the world.
But we're in retrograde right now, and I'm sure, you know, Sal, you might know more about it than I do. With, you know, how they say whatever, don't sign contracts, don't get back with your ex. About this one, June 21st, boys. I talked about this the other day in the chat. Next, strawberry moon.
Yeah.
What? Why would there be a strawberry moon? Could it be that Planet X has two suns, and then one of them's called the red planet, and we have a reflection off the mirror of our own moon? Could it be that, or is it strawberry picking season, everybody?
Do you think there's renaming these because we have a red moon, a blood moon, and now the strawberry moon?
Yeah, all the new shit that's come out, all the fun new stuff that we have. Thunder snow. What was the other buzzword? What are the other buzzwords they made up for fucking new things to put interest back into weather and astrology? You know, like astronomy. Sorry,
polar vortex.
Right. These are all new buzzwords that you have to listen to in order to follow the pretty person pointing at the screen behind them, because now that's the fun thing. So blood moons, wolf moons, all of these things that no one ever used or farmers used in rural back roads. Now everybody's going to use them because it's a fun little thing. So now everybody can seem educated.
They never occurred at this rapid of a rate, though, Sal. Not every month.
But here's the thing, though. They occurred. You can literally name something new every day, just like holidays, just like Hallmark. Those fucking evil, fucking demon worshipping, child eating people at Hallmark who have to put out new holidays every 4 seconds and make a card for it. Put your finger down.
So he's breaking his head right now. Stop him.
Go ahead. The Pendown movie was pretty strong last week that we watched.
Yeah, but like that's, you know, they can make it up, and as long as you know, you put up a professional sign that says, "Oh, guess what? Today is Chocolate Secretary Day. Give your secretary chocolates." Now it's an official thing because it said so at the mall you went to. So,
you know, it's an interesting question. I want to ask Poppin on this. And we just talked about McAfee. We talked about Bitcoin. Talking about even what we're talking about now with the kind of shift of everything in the world. Where are we going? We haven't checked in, Popping on, about financial stuff, and you're the financial guy. So all this stuff, what's it playing into? And then you have housing prices, food prices, inflation. I know it's kind of an overarching question, but what's the trends telling you of where this is going?
Where do I begin? All right. Remember before the pandemic, we had Event 201, the tabletop game that they did with the world leaders.
Yeah.
And recently they've done a new one called Cyber Polygon.
Yeah.
Where it's a computer hack type of scenario where it's all about war on the internet and war with it, you know, on the digital platform and getting hacked and all this stuff and what to do. I think this death may have something to play in with that, meaning that if they are preparing themselves for something similar as the track record has to be like in the past, whenever they had a tabletop game or something go down, and then months later it actually occurs because it's a coincidence. Maybe McAfee had some information how to stop it. Maybe McAfee had some information how to profit from it. I don't know. You know, this is all hearsay and just trying to put all the pieces together. But I wouldn't be surprised. And there is no, you know, everyone jumped on all this crypto stuff, right? Recently because of how it skyrocketed and everyone's like, oh, we're going to make money. And now it dipped. And now people think they're going to buy low, sell high. I've said it from the beginning, man. This whole crypto thing was a beta test by the central banks to work out all the kinks and to get everything in order. So when they drop their own digital currency and have every transaction that's on a digital plane traced, so they know what you're spending your money on, can't hide any money, paper money and coins are no good money anymore. Everything's going to be digitized. This is the way of the future, yada, yada, yada. Get a chip implanted in you. You can carry it. You don't need a wallet, whatever the case may be. This all is one big giant cluster, and it's all intertwined in some shape, form, or another, where one avenue segues into it, and then another avenue segues to the left, and then another avenue segues to the right, and it's just one big spherical financial devious plan to have ultimate control on the money source, and those on top of the pyramid are the ones who are going to be capitalizing over everything. Now, I know it sounds very generalized, but I can't sit here and list all the details because I don't have them in front of me. But the fact that this individual who allegedly died, meaning McAfee, had his hand in crypto and was talking about all these crypto services and this and blockchain and whatever.
Ghost phone as well, remember?
Yeah, and the ghost phone and all this stuff. And then when he got arrested, was saying got also arrested because his crypto stuff was all fraudulent. You know what I'm saying? It could have been, I don't know all the details, I don't know all, all the logistics of everything. But here's a guy who is a tech wizard and understands this whole blockchain technology and this, that, and the other. So he's either an ally or a threat. So it depends on what side of the fence he decided to play ball on. And if he's a threat to the future of the IMF and the Fed and all these central banks making money in the digital platform and evolving the currencies around the world to a digital platform, then of course they're going to take him out. Because whenever there's any threat, whether it's Gaddafi, whether it's Saddam Hussein, whether it's McAfee, they get 86th. And that's the way it is. It's the same game. It's the same, Tecmo Bowl football play. You run back 100 yards, you throw it to Bo Jackson, and you score, and you win. You know what I'm saying?
Now McAfee is an amazing character, as far as legends and rumors are going to go. Because here's the thing: what we could say, and we can make everything plausible by going, we don't know the level of dirty shit he had his hands in, physically and metaphorically.
Right.
Yeah.
So right there, we could say anything about the guy. However, what we don't know can probably fill volumes. And I'm talking, when I say we, I mean generally, as a general rule, people, what they don't know about that guy, what he kept under wraps, I'm sure is amazingly, could have easily put him on somebody's target.
Oh, absolutely. He's the digital Billy the Kid.
Yeah. Oh, okay. See, again, so we can heroize him, I guess. We can make him a legend. We can make him a huge, anti-hero by just saying, just because we don't know what else he was into. What he chose to let us know is cool. But again, who knows why there's crosshairs on him, if at all. Or you know what? And again, the other side of that coin, we could just throw everything back and we could just hit reverse right now and go, or he killed himself because he was fucked up in the head.
Well, because what it is I think these guys are useful. Even though McAfee is not an idiot, he's sort of a useful idiot. He's a patsy. All these cryptocurrency scammers, all these people that are looking for the fast money and the quick fix because they just can't help themselves. They're useful idiots without even realizing they're part of the plan, in my opinion. You can tell these people legitimately were worried. My God, you're spending money. You printed 3/4 of the money that's ever existed in the past year. They don't seem worried, which to me is it's not that they're idiots and they can't count or anything like that. They know they're going to blow the whole thing up and do the great reset. Everything's going to be digitized. They have to do whatever they can to move that along quicker. Guys like McAfee, guys like cryptocurrency scammers, anybody, even ransomware people are helping the cause of the government coming in to save us.
Problem, reaction, solution could all be fronts. All these things are all just
that's
big.
Why I'm convinced that's even why infrastructure is being left to rot, all these other things. So then we're just money doesn't mean anything. We're going to head into what they call a Star Trek Next Generation type of thing where money doesn't mean anything, at least not to us. They already have the control. BlackRock has already bought up how many neighborhoods? Now we're going to become a nation of renters. And they're trying to tell us that's a good thing because now, hey, if you want to move to Florida, you can do that. If you want to move to another coast, you can. They're making it sound like, you'll own nothing and be happy. They'll be like, you can go anywhere you want without having to worry about owning a house. Somebody else will take care of that. To me, that sounds like, and also even, I don't know if going back to you popping on, my wife and I were looking at a thing about these monthly tax credits for your children and all this stuff. There's accountants speaking out saying, hey, if you can, do not take this because you're going to get hit at the end of the year on your tax return, much like the stimulus checks and all that stuff. But was it you popping on that shared it in the chat of what you have to do?
You can
what
opt
you have
out,
to
but you got
do
to give your biometrics, right?
You have to do
that one?
everything you can and give them all your personal data and basically your DNA to opt out of that.
Well, that was the thing. It wasn't just like, okay, give them your personal information, which they already have, but you had to give them biometrics, which I don't understand what the fuck that has to do with your taxes. Or
because it's easier just to take the money and take an apparent UBI and go into debt and become a serf for the government. That's what I see it as. What about you guys?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I just don't understand it. I again, your biometrics to me, I don't understand what is that. How is, there's no separation. So, okay, if you want to know how much I make at my job, sure. You want to know when I started my job? Sure. I understand. That's what you need to know for taxes. Sure. Why do you need to know, height, weight, any of my other personal physical
watch
things?
Freedom to Fascism. Freedom to Fascism will tell you what is happening now. You order your pizza. It's like, oh, your health insurance just went up because you ordered a pizza. I can see your blood pressure's high. Oh, you ordered a soda. Oh, this is your 6th soda this week. Oh, maybe I'm going to raise your health insurance another $20. And I don't mean to I'm not steamrolling anybody. It's just my CTE trying to remember this stuff. But we just mentioned 4 different steps that are extremely difficult to opt out of this thing. What do you think Nancy Brown and Joe douchebag are going to fucking do? Well, don't give me money. I'll fight to not take your money when I'm broke. And now my 30-year mortgage is now all of a sudden becoming the standard 40-year mortgage. Mm-hmm. That's what they're doing with that too. The housing prices are so high, but the interest rates are low. And if you did the forbearance, pop it on, you know this better than I do. Oh, we're just going to tack another 10 years on to the end of your mortgage. Wow. If you weren't in debt before, now you really are in a lifetime of debt.
On top of that, didn't Biden just pass some kind of new law where it's almost financially what's the right word? Castrating. If you leave your property to your children, they got to pay some kind of vast amount of tax.
All the inheritance tax are back and being increased.
Yeah.
It essentially, if you have especially if you have a lot of money, if you have $100 million, you will pay almost $98 million in taxes if you live in the wrong state.
It's fucking ridiculous.
Well, there won't be any states soon enough. We'd be remiss if we didn't do it, guys. We've been getting, hit up as we approach the end of June before we took our hiatus because of, didn't feel like being suicided. Now you guys fucking see what it's like to play with Fire Scarecrow when everybody's watching. I'd rather just shove a Nokia fucking razor up my ass and do what the kids are doing, ghost phoning on TikTok or whatever the fuck they're doing with them. But we're here, and you've seen it in every mainstream news feed. You've seen it in your YouTube suggested videos. The slow roll out. Lou Elzato, I think the guy's name is, who is used to work as CIA ops and was like a Blackwater guy in Iraq, and he didn't even know why he was really hired. He seemed like more of a run and gun kind of guy to do this UAP or UFO investigations, and he's the one making the press rounds if you've been paying attention and putting things out there in kind of a government, non-government, unofficial way. I've seen him try and change the argument of like, there's the deep state that doesn't want it out, but the senators do want it out. And they made a promise pact. And will they live up to the promise pact to tell these shut the fuck up? Like we're going to get a redacted file with tons of fucking Sharpie across it, but they have slow rolled it out and they're going, these aliens are already here. They might not be from outer space. They're from another dimension. So now we're talking about confirming multi-dimensions, and this is what's coming out in your morning talk shows. So when will the file drop? I think in the next week. But even having the Air Force pilot in the Tic Tac footage, or the one that goes into the water as the USO, or even having Secure Team 10 back online. All of these things are the slow roll project, but from the Conspiracy Horsemen, John
I worked on black programs, so I worked for Lockheed. for the Air Force. I can't tell you what it did. I was at that time one of the greatest software engineers. In any case, I was tapped for the job. I was in a different state. Can't
Very
tell you
humble.
where. They flew me out on a Monday morning and flew me back to California on a Friday evening. This went on for a year and a half. And I promise you, I don't know if we have them in a fucking cave or in Area 51, but there are extraterrestrials. There are extraterrestrials. Oddly enough, they appeared in 1946, shortly after our first atomic bombing. I don't know if they have atomic weapon detectors or whatever, but beginning then, we have been under constant fucking surveillance, constant fucking surveillance. I worked on black programs while I worked for
black African American programs, please. Shout out to Al Plaja for cutting some great videos. He's got even more of the Dominican story and all that kind of stuff coming. Subscribe to Ad Hameen Media Group, Twitter, Instagram, and you'll see him out there, you guys. But what a more great sound bites. Here we go around the horn, man, of what are we going to get this week? More real stories. When this guy that I was talking about earlier said, you know, those pieces of footage that we're seeing with, and it pisses me off because that's all we get are the tic tac on the fucking radar in black and white, and it looks like Iron Eagle 2, when the reality is the fucking phones we have shoot 4K, 8K if you're Stevie, and fucking you know, he says we have these things 50 yards away from our F-18s, and that's the footage they're putting out. So are we going to get that kind of footage?
It's like your internet connection. That's the way it looks.
it's shit the bed.
They're all using Spectrum.
Well, what do we do? I'll start. It's going to be redacted stuff, and I will never. I say this idealistically, but I think we really don't deserve to know if there's aliens or not. You know, we clamored for it for so many years, but I think humanity over the past 18 months has proven we get a virus and we buy toilet paper. We don't even, the virus has nothing to do with your digestive system or anything, but we go buy toilet paper because we saw somebody stuffing their cart in there in a Walmart.
You still washing your hands every 15 minutes and not touching your face?
Happy birthday to you. Yeah, you got to sing the happy birthday.
It's Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star, man.
Is
Dude,
it? So?
Yeah. We are, but let's just a side note on that. I walk into a Walmart or any store where you don't have to wear a mask.
Guy walks into
a Walmart and they say, "God damn, Wally Mart." I'm as good as that writer on Raw. All right. So they look at me like I'm an evil alien not wearing a mask. Can you imagine if an alien doesn't look like us, what they're going to do? They can't even handle another human being that's not double masking in front of them.
Look, man, here's a like right now.
I'll throw it right to you here, Sal. In one of the recent stories I read this week, I guess within the last 2 years, there's been 2 more U.S. supposedly. This is just obviously leaked out as Mockingbird, but supposedly 2 more nuclear sites have had shutdowns with alien encounters because on that. Go ahead, Sally.
Well, that's been going on. That's been going on forever. It started with the British one, and then there's one over
Canada with Paul Hellyer.
Yeah. Well, okay. So anyway, look, I just from a what's the word? A layman's term, layman's side of this, watching YouTube videos. You just type in scary videos, right? And you'll upload all these videos. All these people have these collectives of scary fucking videos. All the videos of ghosts, all the videos of monsters, demons, aliens. The new one from India, where the aliens walking on the road, and that came over, and everybody's losing their mind over it on the internet. When I say losing their mind, not oh my god, what is this? What should we do? It's, dude, why didn't you pull up? Why didn't you hit it? Why didn't you punch it? Why didn't you get closer? Why didn't you grab it? Why didn't
world star?
Nobody is going to give a shit. Stevie has said over and over and over, an alien could land on the White House lawn and people will go, oh, I got to get back to Real Housewives. And they'll go back to that. That's exactly what's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen because they're showing it on YouTube as entertainment. This is, oh my God, it's some guy's compilation video. They showed a real alien? No, of course not.
Or it's going to be a Simpsons mob and they have to murder it because they can't understand. They don't understand what it is. So we have to kill it.
Well, that's exactly it. And it's not going to happen unless, even if it is brought out by officials and they have a press conference with, just like, all the lights and shit going off and they're like, oh, this is 4936. He's been with us for years and he's been giving us a lot of different things. He actually helped us make this cure for COVID, everyone. And
there's what is it? Not Alpha Centauri. Where do they say they come from?
So Zeta Reticular system.
Zeta Reticula. Thank you. Zeta Reticula, supposedly that's what has been leaked. But now with this multiverse, Sal, you're our CERN guy. What does that mean to you, through some of the things you study with, I'm sure it's been covered in D&D.
What, like multiverse?
RPG gaming, things like that, where, only in a couple different movies we think of that. When I think of multiverse, I think that this show's going on right now in another dimension, except I'm jacked and look good like Stevie. GGP never hits the mic and fucking, Sal is never ranting or whatever it is in the multiverse that parallels us,
So let's go back to our first talk together, Ben. When me and you were on the show before any of this existed, it's a phone book. Imagine phone books stacked together. That's our universe. Then it's everything in between is a different, each page from point A to point Z is a different page. But now in between A and Z, it's not just 26 letters, it is infinite pages. Okay. So when the people are trying to mine and get into other dimensions, they're pushing through that way. You're trying to do a straight line from this point to this point. It's the only way through them. That's it. So we've discussed it. We've all the multiverse thing makes more sense than anything else.
Yeah.
And as far as the rest of it goes, they're gonna keep all they have to do is just keep the movies going. Keep the Avengers, keep the Marvel, all the Marvel shit, keep Star it all Wars. Going. Well, not even Star Wars. Star Wars is fell into a fucking turd hole. But Marvel and all the other stuff, that's what they have to keep going. They have to keep the timelines, the Infinity Gauntlet. They have to keep all that stuff moving because that's where they're getting our information out. So people go, oh, yeah, I heard that before. Where did they hear that? Oh, my God, that's the Avengers. Yeah. And everybody's cool with it.
The Bad Batch himself, what's going on over there, Clone 4692?
As far as the aliens go, they're here. They've been here. I always say Men in Black's a documentary. Whether or not they look like us, that's interesting. What if these people that are multidimensional aliens are really humans from other dimensions, other timelines, where the human race is a lot more advanced technology-wise, and they're able to have these flying saucers, and they end up crossing into different dimensions. I mean, look, we have Geordie Rose and in the quantum computers, and he's talking about jumping into other dimensions and taking resources, right? How do we know that hasn't already happened? And we're one of the dimensions that these people are taking resources from, whatever resource it may be. How do we know that another dimension, that the aliens or the quote unquote unidentified flying objects and the people or things that are driving it are just human beings from another dimension? We don't know. They could be living among us, and we don't.
You think
know.
It's time travel too? Do you think they're from the future?
I don't think it's time travel. I mean, if it is time travel, then it could be time travel, but they ended up on our timeline as opposed to their own timeline. You know what I'm saying? Meaning that if they are in timeline X and they jump back in time, they ended up coming in timeline Y or timeline B or C or whatever, and they're in the wrong timeline. That's why things sometimes don't happen to what they predict. But who knows? That's the thing. We don't have enough information to make an educated guess, or everything we're going to say is just an assumption. But it isn't too far-fetched if you really read between the lines, because we have people in our dimension talking about going into interdimensional travel to steal resources through quantum computing. So it wouldn't be far-fetched. It's already, in another dimension, it already happened. How do we know in another dimension that we're not all still living in caves? Human race is living in caves. Another dimension, we're all translucent beings, or we already have the connection with AI, and that's why that dimension, they're able to travel over here because their technology is so advanced. Who knows? We don't know. And the fact that Sal said is a good idea. I mean, it's a valid point that the fact that stuff gets thrown out there in media, whether it's TV shows or movies or whatever the case may be, it's to soften the blow when it does come to fruition. I mean, it's predictive programming. But here's the kicker. The multiverse has always been around with DC Comics, right? With Marvel Comics, especially DC, right? Earth 1, Earth 2, Earth this, Earth that. But recently, we've seen this on television shows, on movies, or in movies, excuse me, where over the last 5 years, that's the main topic everyone's talking about.
Right.
Just like if you turn on the radio now, or you turn on TV, all you see is commercials for the vaccine, for the shot, or you hear about a radio ad about getting a shot in order to go back to some normality. So then people just get adjusted and accustomed, and they get indoctrinated to that because it's all they hear. And the lie becomes the truth. Or it slowly gets interjected into the fabric of reality, and everyone just accepts it for what it is. And that's exactly what's going on with this whole multi-dimensional stuff. Because 10 years ago, we didn't talk about multi-dimensions. And to be honest with you, this whole string theory, or even better yet, the simulation theory about this is all just a big giant simulation, was first brought out in the late 70s by one guy, and they called him a quack. Now we have all these physicists saying that it could be possible that we're living in the simulations and our bodies are just avatars. I don't agree with it, but the fact that this is like a hot button topic, just like multi-dimensions, and we see it all in every aspect: books, magazines, video games, television shows, movies. And the fact that the CIA does have an operative on everything in Hollywood.
Yeah. Yeah, when you see the 360 push to a worker, it reveals itself of what the true agenda is, to dance around the truth without saying it, so it'll be easier to present. But I don't know. It's not like, the Senate's going to get the redacted file, and then it's going to be they're going to get out there and wave the fucking Millennium Falcon in. Bring her in, Chewie. Bring her in, back her up,
If you see Jen Psaki stepping up behind the podium, you're probably not going to get a direct answer.
No.
Just look what McAfee said on that quote you played earlier. They're going to send out the mainstream media is going to put out the thing that you need to fear, so they can be the shepherd.
Yeah.
Okay. That was months before all this bullshit happened. Okay. And now we're seeing that instead of the fear of the be careful, hey, report if this guy is coughing, watch this person if they're not masking up. Now it's, hey, if you want real life to come back, guys, just everybody get the shot. If I hear that commercial one more time on the radio being played, if you want concerts to return, if you want generations of family to
meet again, the entertainment to return, it all sucks right now. Stay away.
Yeah,
fully vaxxed events. That's the.
But that's what I'm saying. And he called that out a month or 2, 3 before this all happened. Yeah. Because now that's what it is. We have to go to the mainstream media because now when celebrities all band together to say, "Hey guys, get the shot." Now we all have to smile and go, yeah, you're right. Well, Lady Gaga got it. Got to go do it.
Listen, there's three branches of government that we learned about in school. The fourth secret branch of the government is the mainstream media, because they push whatever narrative they're told to push. They're all talking heads. They're Muppets. Yeah. Now, all this stuff about UFOs, whether it's the Pentagon, the Navy, whatever, all these seeds getting dropped. You don't think that's the same play, a scare tactic they're going to have to push fear about the extraterrestrials or Project Bluebeam or whatever, to try to be the government, to be the savior, to be the one with the cape, to come here and save us from the aliens or whatever the case may be? Reagan called it in the 80s. You know what I'm saying? About the one common threat that can unite man. Look, man, it's the same play over and over. They were on the same spots. They're not very
well, they didn't
creative.
They didn't have the Promise Pact back then, and now we have the Promise Pact. And I promise that we are going to have some major guests for you coming in July. And we're trying to work out with Realm Network of how Conspiracy Horsemen is going to be presented and what we want to do. Like we said, if Batman's hanging out down at the 7-Eleven, he's not so fucking special if you see him every day. So when you need us, we will be there. And even when you don't need us, we'll be there lurking in the shadows. But I want to give a big thank you to John McAfee for providing us with some of the best content, best shows that we've ever had on the Conspiracy Horsemen. And I hope that he, hopefully they're treating him right, but hopefully he is in Denver in some dumb underground military base and Citigroup is making him work on their crypto. I'd rather have that than think that they hired some asshole fucking Spaniard to go in and hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father, prepare to die, and stab him with some fucking shiv or choke him out with a bed sheet because it doesn't fit the narrative of what they want to do going forward.
Have they shown a body?
No body yet, no cause of death, none of that.
They just keep saying apparent suicide.
Yeah, apparent. So they're putting the Epstein spin on it. But we're gonna spin it out of here, you guys. Anybody got any pitches, plugs for anything they want to throw down? Stevie's got all kinds of workout equipment coming his way, so you guys are gonna have to hook up with that.
We'll see.
Go ahead.
I suspect we're starting to run out of room here. My wife.
My wife.
Totally agrees. No, I was gonna say about the McAfee thing. Hopefully, he's not like us, and his one last act was to play a rib on us by giving the government all of our information to come get us.
Yeah, well, we did see that DVOC 91 hack where they showed that there's real-time tracers in it. I don't know how legit that was or not, but hopefully we can cover that down the road as well. Sally, where are you going to be modeling this weekend? On what beach?
Vero Beach with Terry Taylor. We're going to be the only beach ever. That and Cocoa Beach from I Dream of Jeannie. Those are the two beaches I remember. So yeah,
I'm happy for you. Everybody's put it over, and I will again too.
All right, fair enough. We got me and Chuck working on stuff. Chuck has gotten very good at things. So that's all I'm going to say. I think people are going to be very impressed.
Awesome.
Chuck's gotten very good at things.
You put some monster truck tires on that Fiesta, and we're ready to ride, man.
Yeah, he drives it to pride parades and he crashes into people with it. So that's fine.
Oh man. GGP, what are you identifying as this month?
GGP. Let's see. We're doing the NFO tonight, episode 118. Got a lot of news to talk about. We recently dropped a couple episodes. We just had a Scott. What was his last name? He was a big toy connoisseur. He used to work with Hasbro and Masters of the Universe and Star Wars, and now he has Now he has birds in the background, but Muffle Sparks as well. He has a company called.
You got birds, you got canaries now.
Yeah, they're singing like canaries. You know, think about canaries. Watching all that Sopranos.
Wow.
But anyway, Scott Knightlick, I think his name was, but we just did a special interview with him. Spectre Creative is his new company that he just started, and it was a good little interview. We just threw it up as well. We're going to put out the video as well as soon as Spiro gets a chance to edit it and put all the bells and whistles on it. That's the NFO. The Wrestling Goes is coming around the mountain as she comes. Got some bookings lined up. Don't be too surprised if you see GGP real soon. So
yeah, man, for sure. Look forward to getting back out there with you. But tonight, like we said, a somber occasion, but let the legend of McAfee live on. Is he gone? Is he, doing work on the covert super black ops? And was he ever in prison at all? I'd like to keep him that way. Like you said, go ahead. You got something you want to add, Sally?
Nope, not at all.
Yeah, I was going to say the Billy the Kid mythos, man. And we'll carry that torch here at the Conspiracy Horsemen. We thank you guys for joining us at twitch.tv/Hameen Media. And Hami Media Group is a backup tonight. I'm sure if we said the word DVOC backwards, that this will get pulled soon enough. So, but the best place to get us is going to be Realm Network, as we've got a lot of work to do here in the next weeks to get everything built out. But there's plenty coming in the future days, and wait till you see next. What's that?
I just got the DVOC backwards now.
Dude, he was talking about NFL DVOC protocols, didn't say nothing salacious. Friday locker room pulled, and I got a strike on the channel and can't upload till tomorrow. A week's ban on it, bro.
Wow.
Just from saying the fucking words. Just from saying it. We've said some words here tonight, infidels, and I'm going to play it one more time to take us home. There's no better man to speak for himself than John McAfee here. Let me bring this clip back up if you didn't see it earlier. Oh man, where is it? Maybe I got it.
Play it out with the Beatles music, just to
play it one more time, one more again. Oh man,
way to blow a spot, kid.
It's StreamYard waiting to pull it up.
This is the only way that we can live, given the fact that I refuse to shut the fuck up. I see horrors happening in our government, in our institutions, in our corporations, in the Fed, in every aspect of our system of government. We have corruption. You are deluded people into thinking it matters who sits in the president's office. Please God, do you realize that if the president wanted to know whether or not there are flying saucers, they are not going to fucking tell him.
He's a puppet.
He is a puppet. So we need to peel this curtain back and look at the wizard behind the curtain, people, and deal with that. Fuck the president. It doesn't fucking matter.
Look at the before and after on Sally. Unbelievable. Great work, buddy. And it's been great work, I think, here tonight, reuniting, man, talking about John McAfee. Our condolences to Janice McAfee. I'm sure there's a lot going on there right now as well, that they want to put pressure on her. Who knows, interrogations, whatever they're trying to do to find anything out. So, but glad to be back with you guys. The Conspiracy Horsemen, infidels, reunited, world excited. YALLA!